Hi guys, I hope you're all well and welcome back to my channel. I'm actually really excited to be back. I feel like I say this like every 6 months to a year, but I'm actually genuinely excited to be back. And I just want to share with you some things that I've learned over the past few months. So I would say towards the end of last year, I was just in a space where I just felt really just overwhelmed by life. And I was listening to Jonathan McReynolds' album Make More Room or Make Room, and he has this track on it called Make Room, where he just speaks about being intentional with spending time with God and, you know, cutting away distractions or things that are kind of hindering him in maximizing his time with God. And that really kind of challenged me, and I felt like I was so overwhelmed by life because I was not spending any real time with God. I was kind of giving him like the leftovers of my day, maybe a quick 5 minutes in the morning before I go to work, and then maybe another 10 minutes before bed, and I wasn't really spending any real time with God in that. It was just an intentional period where God, this is for you. And yeah, I was really inspired by it, and it really challenged me to make decisions to step away from the things that were distracting me, one being social media. And I just really thought, you know what, it's really important to me that I go into the new year with a clear mind, not overwhelmed. And literally I stepped away from the internet, deactivated my Instagram, deleted my Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest. Well, Pinterest was a bit of a struggle, but I got there in the end. And I just realized how much time I was not giving to God when I cut off distractions. And I feel like, if we're honest, our generation is so filled with distractions. Like, and I feel like the moment I made a decision to kind of step away from that which was distracting me, I was able to maximize real time with God. And the more I even read the Bible, I would see examples where even Christ, you know, would step away from distractions to just spend time with God. John 5:16 says, you know, speaks about, you know, God, Jesus often withdrew to the lonely place to pray. So even Jesus understood how necessary it is sometimes to just kind of retreat and pull back from distractions in order to maximize time with God, you know, for a time of refreshing. And honestly, I feel so refreshed. I feel like the restart button in my mind was pushed, and honestly I feel so refreshed. And I would honestly encourage you guys to be intentional in stepping away from what distracts you, like in whatever capacity that is. You know, your distraction might be different to mine. Mine personally was my phone, social media, and I literally, again, came offline, would constantly have my phone on do not disturb mode. I love the fact that iPhone has this new feature, you know, called a downtime, where after a certain time all the apps turn off. So I would set my downtime to like 9:30. So by 9:30 all my apps are off. You know, and you can customize it as well, so all my apps will be off, my WhatsApp. So literally after 9:30, if you message me, I will not get it. I will not receive it until the next morning when my downtime is over. And the moment I just paused and took time out to not be distracted by my phone, to not be distracted by the constant buzz or by my social media, I realized how much time I was wasting. And God really challenged me and showed me that time is so precious, and once literally a minute is gone, you cannot get it back. And I really appreciate this season where I've been able to draw nearer to God by cutting out distractions. And honestly, I would really challenge you to do it as well. So I'll share with you some things that helped me to maximize my time with God. One being cutting off distractions, like in deleting my social media. You just have to be so militant with it. Like, it might be hard. And then I would have morning devotions. I have an app that I've been using for the longest time, and I would recommend it to everyone. It's called First 15. You can download it from the App Store, or if you've got an Android, I think you can do it from your Play Store as well. So it's called First 15, and it's really amazing. It has So it's a daily devotional, and it already comes with a praise and worship kind of playlist as well. So it's literally there for you if you don't know what devotion looks like, or you're struggling to find kind of like a devotion plan. This literally helps you in that. It starts off with a scripture, and then there's praise and worship that you can play. It's normally like a YouTube link that you can watch within the app, and then when that's done, it's got this whole devotion list that you can read through, and then at the end it's got points to help you in that devotion, and it's got praise as well. You can customize or personalize to yourself. So that really helped, having the First 15 app. Good. And another thing I'd encourage is an accountability buddy, or somebody who's going to do it with you, or even if they don't do it with you, somebody who you can be accountable to. Like I had my husband who was doing it with me for, I would say, the first month, where he also deleted his social media, just so we could be accountable to each other and just both have devotions together and pray together. And it was just really such an encouraging time, knowing that I had somebody there to do it with me. And if he felt like I was just being idle with my time, he would encourage me, and that, oh, I feel like you're being a bit idle here, or maybe you are spending too much time doing this. And then he would literally ask me like every day, so what have you read today, like what are you reading, and what book are you on now? So we started reading Genesis through, we're going to read the Bible through together. So he would ask me like, what book are you on? So literally every day I would know like, oh my gosh, so Ali's gonna ask me what have I read today, or what have I learned today. So again, it was really good, because that would encourage and challenge me to be, you know, it would be a motivator for me to like really dig into the word of God, because I know at the end of the day I'm gonna have to discuss it with somebody. I'm gonna have to discuss the things that I've learned, or how God has spoken to me throughout the day. And you know, whether that's your spouse that can help you with it, or your best friend, or somebody that you're really close to from church, anyone that you can find who can do that with you, I'd really encourage you to have like a buddy in this season of separation, in this season of just quietness, somebody that can check in and just make sure that you are staying faithful to the decision to be more intentional with your relationship with God. I think journaling helps me as well. I spoke about that in a previous video, where I like to write a lot. I tend to write prayers sometimes to God when I find it difficult to pray. So I think when you can see daily kind of the things you're writing, or things that you've read, it makes you realize how much you're really getting from the word. And it's also quite encouraging, because sometimes I'd write things and be like, whoa, did I write that? Like, did I get that revelation from the Bible? Did God actually, like, wow, God actually spoke that to me? And when you see things, like when you see things on paper, it's just, I think that it just does something else to a part in your brain. I don't know, but that really worked for me, journaling during this time as well. I think also reading. I read a lot of Christian books. One book that really inspired me in this season, I've actually read a few times, one of my friends got it for me a few years back, was John Bevere, Driven by Eternity. That book is literally, it will completely wreck you in the spirit. Like honestly, I read that book and was like repenting, but it's such a dope book. And honestly, reading books and, you know, and Christian resources really helped. I find that, you know, it just really helped fill my time and increase, you know, my biblical knowledge. And I would really encourage you to read books, read resources. I really actually read a lot of books actually in this period, and it's quite amazing like how much time I had to read several books. I'd really encourage you to read books. A few books again that I would recommend are John Bevere, Driven by Eternity, Lisa Bevere's Unrivalled, Francine Rivers' Redeeming Love, just to name a few of the books I've read. List some in the description bar below. I can't remember all of them right now, but and I would also encourage you to listen to some sermons, like some Christian podcasts. One podcast that I found really good, I like to listen to like during the day when I was at work, is the played by accident Ask Pastor John series. So basically
What is God?
Oh, so it's the Desiring God Ask Pastor John series. So I've got one up, you can see it. So basically it looks like that. If you've got an iPhone, you can just go to the podcast and just search them. And I also listen to sermons from Dr. Eric Mason's, oh my gosh, from Epiphany Church as well. Their sermons are really, really good. Dr. Eric Mason is amazing. So yeah, I just listened to a lot of sermons. I filled my day. My typical day would look like this. Like, I'd get up in the morning and I'd pray, I'd read my devotional, either at home, on the bus, or on the train on the way to work. And then throughout the day I'd be listening to the Desiring God podcast. I might listen to an audiobook as well. If I didn't have the time to physically read one, I'll just kind of listen to an audiobook while I'm working. And yeah, and then when I get home in the evening, Ali and I, whilst we're having dinner, we'd watch a sermon on YouTube or something. And yeah, it was just really amazing. Like, when your days are filled with God, like, constantly, it's just so amazing. Like, honestly, just when you fill your day with the things of God, it just changes your perspective on life. It just actually, and even like now being back on social media, I just kind of feel like I'm wasting time. So I'm literally in the habit of posting and going, where if I feel like I have to post something, I'll post it and then literally come off the app again until I'm back again. And it just made me realize how much you don't need things. Like, I don't need social media. Like, I don't know, it wouldn't surprise me if I ended up deleting it altogether. But yeah, I mean, social media is, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to bash social media. Like, it has its place, but for me personally, like, it's like neither here or there. But yeah, those are just a few things that helped me in maximizing my time with God. So just making the decision to cut off distractions, having an accountability buddy or somebody that will partner alongside with you in this journey of, you know, spending time alone with